Well, we're back, so we're on.
All right. Awesome. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time. So last time we did, and welcome back. This is Gotta Go Godzilla Podcast. I'm your host, Shadow All Fox, and my co-host.
Archimage.
And said,
Yeah, and we're back again. Last time we did 1989 Godzilla vs. Biollanta, where we learned that a plant can't go up against a fire-breathing dinosaur. Go figure. High hopes.
I'm shocked. I'm like shocked. Since when does fire beat plants? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
We need to find that fireproof plant, and then we'll really have a new Pokemon game going for us. They have to
I
redo
bet
the
you
typing and
it's
everything.
Australia. If it'd be in anywhere, it'd be in
Have
Australia.
to be Australia. But this time we gotta bring in an old favorite from the Showa era. Hopefully this doesn't deafen Archimage again.
Nope, that was better.
Okay, that I did lower the volume a little bit this time. It is King Ghidorah. We're bringing him.
I appreciate it.
We're bringing him back. We're bringing him back this time. I mean, I gotta be honest. This is the one origin story of King Ghidorah I like the least, honestly, compared to his others. Because
I mean, is it even an origin story?
yes, he does actually have an origin compared to the other. We don't have an origin story for
No.
Showa.
No, I remember the movie. I remember it showed how King Ghidorah came about. But like, as far as origin stories go, it's like it's almost a little like not lazy, but just like if you were to do an emoji of it, it'd be the really emoji. Like really, that's what happened. Like
Well,
that's how I describe it.
it's kind of like I prefer because to review from Showa era, King Ghidorah, they don't really go over his origin. They just say he's a alien from space. He's a space monster. No real origin. We don't even really know where he came from. We know where the aliens who controlled him came from, but we have no idea where King Ghidorah came from. We just know that he was,
That's true.
that various aliens could capture him and mind control him. But other than that, we had no clue where he came from, what he do, really anything about him. And I always find that when you tell less about something, it makes it a little bit more intimidating because you got that unknown factor about it. This one, well, we'll get into it. Let's first pull up his stats. So we got the original King Ghidorah stats where he was from Showa era, 100 meters tall, wingspan 150 meters, weight 30,000 metric tons. Now, everything's bigger in the Heisei era, so now he's going to be 150 meters tall, wingspan 175 meters, and 7,000 metric tons. So, a little bit bigger, a little bit chunkier. Everyone been working out in this one. Even Godzilla's going to get a little bit of an upgrade in his size in this one. He's going to go from Godzilla at this point is 80 meters tall. He's going to go from 80 meters tall in this movie to 100 meters tall. So he's going to get bigger. So everything get kind of bigger in the show in the Heisei era. But we gotta bring in. I remember, and I don't believe I said this to our audience, but I did tell it to our co-host earlier. If last time Biollanta we used Pokemon as an analogy, with King Ghidorah, Heisei King Ghidorah, we gotta use Digimon as the analogy. And Zed, you was a Digimon person, like me as a kid. So you'll remember that with Digimon, you often go from I think it's the rookie form, where it's a cute chibi looking monster. And then I know I may be skipping one, and then you go to like the champion form, where it's like this strange, dinosaur like.
Champions after rookie, you're good.
And then after champion
Okay,
is
you know what?
ultimate.
But yes,
where Ultimate is generally
Yeah.
a dinosaur mixed with a mech or cyborg in some way. And then usually when we
Yeah,
go
they
to
start to get like cybernetic enhancements.
and then usually when we get to the
now
Mega,
I see
we
the-
get to some type of Cthulhu abomination creature coming out at you at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, usually.
Well,
Okay, yeah. Now
now
I see
Argument
the
is getting this because he remembered this movie because we gotta bring in King Ghidorah's rookie's form, the Dorat.
these freaking things. Okay, okay, I do have questions, but I'm not sure if it would interfere with your explanation.
Go
so
for
I'll
it.
Save my questions.
No, go
you,
for it.
but,
Go for it.
Mark, that I have questions.
No, go for
Okay,
it.
so, well, okay, the Dorat. So, are you? Is it going to screw up your podcast mentioning how these things, their relation to King Ghidorah?
No, if you want to give a little spoiler, go ahead.
Okay, so as we know, these things magically become King Ghidorah.
Well, not
My
magic,
question-
science. Science League come.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, my question is, another spoiler, there was 3 of these little buggers.
Yes.
Did 3 of them fuse into one Ghidorah?
Yes.
Or was it just one of them happened to, the one who survived turned into Ghidorah?
No, they all fused together. That was originally their plan, was to fuse them together.
Okay, and then the final thing, why'd they go bald?
They.
Radiation sickness?
I would argue that was. How many dinosaurs do you see with hair?
Well, apparently this little thing that you've got on the screen. And is this really a dinosaur?
Well, no, that's
Like,
not a
I don't
dinosaur.
even know what
So Dorat, its species
is.
is classified as a genetically engineered creature. It's not
Yeah,
dinosaur.
and, like,
It's genetically
scarier than
engineered.
the freaking 3-headed dragon.
This is what happened when you use future technology to make a real life Furby.
Oh, those freaking Furbies.
To give
That's
some
the only
stats.
thing creepier than this thing.
To give some stats, this thing is 30 centimeters tall, in height, 0.8 kilogram in weight. Its power is to fly around, and it can kind of sense human emotions. That's about it.
I mean, okay. So it's Alexis is a drone.
Oh, and Zed, if we're going with the Digimon angle, if you remember the early rookie form where they're just heads, you recall what most of their attacks was?
Yeah, that's like the in training stage.
Where they're just doing headbutts all the time and that's their attack?
Yeah, where they don't have any limbs. They're literally just
Same for this thing. It just does
Blobs
headbutt.
on the
Like,
ground.
in all the games that this thing is in, it just does a headbutt to attack you. Or it does a very weaker version of King Ghidorah's gravity beam, where it doesn't even phase you. It's like a static charge type shock to you.
okay.
Shocking.
Yep. No, and argument, don't worry, you wasn't screwing anything up because I was gonna go over King Ghidorah's personality in this one, which I have to go over his origin story. In this one, King Ghidorah is a basically scientist from the year 2204 comes to the past. They put three Dorats they released on an island that was going to be doused with enough radiation to essentially make Godzilla. And they planned for these things to not only be doused with the radiation, but to grow in size. So they were hoping they would either get 3 of them, or in this case, 3 of them were fused together to make 1 of them. But either way, they were hoping to get a kaiju strong enough to fight Godzilla. Or, well, to be strong enough to destroy Japan, I should say.
I mean, I guess that's one way to do it. Although, if they can engineer these little creatures, you'd think they'd be able to engineer Ghidorah.
Well,
Especially
to be
considering
fair,
what happens later in the movie.
if they could only engineer it and it were only that size, like I could understand engineering those things to be that size because let's face it, that in a way of cloning something to be what is this 30 centimeters tall, that's I mean, how often do we clone like a baby lamb or something that's bigger than that? So it makes sense that they could genetically engineer something to survive a nuclear fallout and grow from it. But I guess it would be a waste to try to figure out a way. Well, no, there's a reason they couldn't make it a kaiju size. Remember, they're doing this all secretly in their timeline.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good point. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that.
Which we'll get to in the movie. But yes, they are doing this essentially secretly. Because King Ghidorah is essentially made to be a kaiju of destruction. His personality in this one is pretty much, I want to destroy everything. That Japan, I don't like it. I want it gone. Okay, give me a couple of days. It'll be gone in a couple of days. That's King Ghidorah's entire plot in this one. In terms of abilities, it's the same as the Showa era. He can fly Mach 4. He has these gravity beams, which we pretty much see as lightning, yellow lightning attacks, which is strong enough to level city blocks. His wings can cause hurricane-like winds to destroy buildings. Strong enough to physically pick up or choke out, try to choke out Godzilla with his necks. Pretty durable, at least against conventional weapons. Not very durable about Godzilla's atomic breath, as we'll see soon enough.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, his only real weakness is Godzilla's atomic breath. So I don't know what they were really planning. They seem to almost made a weaker version of King Ghidorah compared to Showa. But since we're dealing with the future, and since this is all Digimon, we got Digivolve King Ghidorah to his next form, which will be Mega King Ghidorah.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of, and let's just get a picture up there for reference. In terms of height, he's still the same height, 150 meters. Still the same. He is a little bit heavier now going from, I believe.
Oh, really? He's heavier. Who would have thought?
I think he's slightly heavier. He's
Should be more than slightly heavier. He's got freaking armor on.
He goes from 70,000 metric ton to what, 80,000 metric tons, I believe.
I'm actually surprised that's it.
Well, that's future metal, Alchemist.
That's bullshit.
Here's the thing, he doesn't really have much of a personality because he's pretty much
Corpse?
a cyborg.
Yeah, from a corpse.
Yeah, kind of. He actually is pretty much dead.
He was dead. This is a zombie.
Yeah, he is.
This is a cyborg zombie.
To give context, during his fight with Godzilla, he kind of loses his head, and he kind of gets shot into the ocean, and he get left there for about 300 years, give or take. And then they decide to essentially piece him back together in the future and send him back in time to fight with Godzilla again. He still loses.
Yeah, they literally grabbed a corpse, shoved it into an Iron Man suit, and used him like that. That's what they did.
Pretty much. And so if you're looking at on YouTube, if you look at him, in the just underneath his metal head, there's a little orb or a little round dome, just underneath his middle neck. If you can see that, that's basically a control pod where a pilot is to control Mega King Ghidorah. So he literally is essentially a Gundam at this point. He is straight up a puppet, like Alchemist is saying.
Yeah.
Pretty much, he's still got the same power. Anti-gravity flight. Now his gravity beam has a laser beam because of his middle head. Other than that, he's pretty much still got all the same powers. The only other thing I guess to add is he does have a Godzilla capture device or a machine hand on the center of his chest. You'll get a picture. You'll get a better screenshot of it as we get to the movie. As we get to the breakdown of his movie. Other than that, he also
He's
got.
also a lousier fighter.
Well, yeah, he's being piloted by a woman, so woman driving. I mean, what you expect? If they can't, you know what? I should shut up. I'm gonna keep making these bad jokes. I shouldn't make these bad.
Okay,
jokes.
I actually meant from previous movies, like throughout the whole movie. Like that's the thing. He actually put up a fight against Godzilla, but in this movie, he kind of got his ass kicked.
Yes. And I know I'm usually the hype person for
thing.
the monsters of this one, but again, I feel this King Ghidorah is kind of, even though it's bigger than the last one, it's kind of weaker because in Showa it took multiple monsters fighting King Ghidorah to beat him. In this one, it just take Godzilla by himself in a bad mood, taking him down.
Pretty much, like Godzilla kind of roasts him without trying that much.
Pretty much, it's a smackdown.
And even with these upgrades, he still kind of kicks his ass.
Again, I was about to make a joke, but not saying.
Yeah, I wasn't going for that, but
I went there easily. His only other ability that he has that's new, he got time warp powers because there is essentially a time machine built into him, so he can essentially, travel back in time. But again, because a pilot is controlling him, he's at the will of the pilot, so he probably, I would be surprised at how much he can use it. Some of his weaknesses, as you were going over, Archimage, he's slow. He is being piloted by a person, so if you take out the person, he's kind of dead in the water at that point. He's still vulnerable to the atomic breath, all that future metal, and he still can't take an atomic breath to the face.
Yep.
Other than that, the only other thing I can give him, I had to give him something else, so I started listing his game abilities. In the Atari game, he has a taser, which can stun enemy. He fired electrical tasers from his body, essentially. So essentially, he just imagine that. And you'll see where the taser can kind of come out of, so it'll make sense when I get to the screenshots for the movie. In the Atari, he also has a energy shield that he can generate, so kind of like Mechagodzilla. And then I had to even go even further. In Godzilla Save the Earth, another Godzilla fighting game, he has the ability to go invincibility, so he takes no damage. Don't know how that works, but I have to give him something.
Got it. So Mario rules.
Yeah, pretty much. He gets the superstar for temporarily. In another arcade game, he has the power of teleportation. Time travel, that kind of pans out, in my opinion. And then finally, in one of the comics, he has eye lasers. And I would figure that if they gave him a male head, that male head would have lasers in it, like Mechagodzilla.
So he has eye lasers just like the cartoon Godzilla Hanna-Barbera gave him.
Pretty much.
Are they less lame?
And they were able to knock out Jet Jaguar briefly.
So no.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, 1991.
Oh, that's an awesome poster.
Yes. Oh yeah, I like that poster guy hanging up in my room right now. So I didn't know this, and this is kind of speculation, but this is what I've heard that apparently around this time, this is when Back to the Future came out.
Is it?
I believe so. I believe Back to the Future came out in 1989, and they said Back to the Future influenced the making of this movie because in Japan's box office, Back to the Future did much better than Godzilla vs. Biollante, which makes sense. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, but Back to the Future versus Godzilla vs. Biollante is kind of a night and day type deal.
Yeah, Back to the Future, 1985.
So, because of that, they thought that the best way to do this was to add a future angle to Godzilla. So they decide to go and do, because they originally was going to make it so King Ghidorah was from space. But then when they were like, people really like this future angle, so let's do some time travel shenanigans. So the movie opened up. It's the year 2204, and a submarine is under the sea, under the Pacific Ocean, and it finds the remains of King Ghidorah after a fight with Godzilla. So clearly things did not go well for it.
No, it probably didn't go well for the corpse on the ocean floor that's been there for 300 years.
And that's when the movie title calls start. And basically, without going into crazy detail about the human side of thing, because who cares about humanity?
Yeah.
Basically, what's going on is there are a UFO flying around, and eventually it lands. The people are revealed. The people inside are revealed to be humans, and not only just human, but time travelers from the futures who apparently came to Japan with a warning that if they leave Godzilla alive or around, he's going to eventually destroy Japan. And they say that, and basically they say that, okay, well, Godzilla is currently dormant underneath the ocean after his fight with Biollanta, but eventually he's going to get angry and he's just going to start wrecking Japan. But don't worry, we can use time travel shenanigans to undo this, because whatever go bad whenever people go back in time to mess with a event to try to undo the outcome, essentially.
According to Hollywood, nothing ever goes bad.
Exactly. So basically,
they think it's better.
So basically, they get the bright idea. They know from a World War II Japanese soldier veteran that basically Godzilla used to be a dinosaur on one of the Marshall Islands back in the day. An island called Lagos Island, which I believe they made it up just for this film. If memory serves correctly, I believe so. And if I'm not, I apologize to anyone who live on Lagos Island. Basically, they start using time travel shenanigans. They take some people back in time to go to Lagos Island, where basically Godzilla, or at this point Godzillasaurus, because he's still in his dinosaur form, is basically. He basically attacks U.S. soldiers, scare them away from the Japanese soldiers, and die in the process from a bombardment from a nearby United States battleship. And basically, the theory was Godzillasaurus is left on this island. During the time of the Bikini Island atomic testing, some of that nuclear radiation made its way to Godzillasaurus and essentially revived him and made him into Godzilla that we know today. So the way they decided to resolve this was they were going to take Godzillasaurus, and teleport him to the bottom of the sea. The Bering Sea, if memory serves correctly.
Makes sense.
And that was going to be it. If he wasn't on the island for the Bikini atomic testing, he wouldn't get any radiation. At the same time, they left the Dorats, a trio of Dorats, on the island. Secretly. And it seemed like, to the people who went with them, it seemed like everything worked. Godzilla was technically gone. They couldn't find him anymore. Let's ignore the fact that they know what Godzilla is at this point. Because if they truly unmade him, they shouldn't know what he is at this point.
Yeah, basically it means nothing happened to this point, and it also means they never went back in time to do it in the first place.
Which is a paradox.
Let's not think about that.
You can make the argument that the reason the people who went back in time could remember it was because they exist outside of time. You can make some Doctor Who argument about that. But the whole why did everyone else who didn't go back in time still remember who Godzilla was the real question that had me scratching my head.
Why did everything before they did that and erased him still seem to have happened?
Yes. Let's not think about
that's
that.
not confusing.
So then, well, they think, oh, good, Godzilla's gone. And then they realize, oh no, Godzilla's gone. King Ghidorah's here. And they instantly know who King Ghidorah is. And that King Ghidorah shows up before, or around the time Godzilla should have showed up. And basically, he started destroying Japan. And this is when the future people reveal, ha ha ha! Our real reason for coming back wasn't because we wanted to save Japan from destruction. It's because in the future, Japan become an economical superpower and pretty much rule the entire world. and we wanted to come back in time to stop Japan from ever becoming an economical superpower.
Makes not at all kind of stroking Japan's ego a little bit there.
And we had to come back in time with robot-style Terminator units to deal with the Japanese.
Oh god, I forgot about the Terminator.
I cannot begin to describe how wacky. Whenever people say Godzilla's stories were more grounded or down to earth, I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. The fact that he's kind of smiling in this picture is what really makes it creepy.
That's why I knew I had to get this picture. It's
like when the Terminator smiled in Judgment Day 2. There's just something off about it.
For those on listening to on Spotify, one, thank you. Two, it's imagine just some I would say 5'11", maybe 6 foot Caucasian running down the middle of a Japanese road with a smile on his face. Half his body seemed to be destroyed and making him look like the Terminator running on foot.
Funny enough, the little like shoulder piece that he has, where where his shoulder's supposed to be, is showing metal, which is supposed to be the internal cyberkinetics and everything. Doesn't it look a little bit like the armor you used to see on like VR troopers?
Possibly, it's very possible they reused it.
Okay, it looks like, I don't think it's the same thing, but it looks like that style is my point. But Japan loves to reuse stuff, so.
Were VR Trooper made in the 1990s?
Oh, I have no idea. Like,
because if so, then it's almost pretty much modeled after it.
Maybe I saw like 6 episodes of that show. It was a weird show.
And basically, at this point, the future people or the Futurians are, thinking, haha, we won. We'll just wait for King Ghidorah to get done destroying Japan and call it a day. Go back to the future and be rich. And at the same time, the Japanese decide, well, Godzilla's source is currently at the bottom of the Bering Sea. So, in theory, if we send a nuclear sub to that area and just dump a bunch of radiation on them, that should, essentially bring him back to make another Godzilla so we can fight King Ghidorah.
Makes perfect sense.
I'm glad you think so, because this didn't make much sense to me in the logic of you just went through the process of sending people back in time to kill Godzilla. And now after a day, not even a day, like 12 hours of dealing with King Ghidorah, your immediate thought is, let's bring Godzilla back to life. Not... The logic of, we have one kaiju that is destroying Japan. Let's time travel and get rid of it. Now we got a flying kaiju that is destroying Japan. Okay, well, we can fix this. Let's bring back the other kaiju that was destroying Japan. Let's ignore the fact that that it's possible they could work together to destroy Japan together if this was a different movie.
Look. This is basic Hollywood logic. You bring 2 monsters in the hope they kill each other.
Yeah, let them fight.
Yeah, let them fight. Hope they kill each other. If they don't, well, that's the people who survived problem, not yours.
Anyway, they sent a sub to try to enact this plan. And, well, when they get there, they found a living Godzilla. And they realize at this point, the Futurians and the humans and the present human both kind of realize, well, So Godzilla is kind of a fixed event at this point, because even though we dumped him into the sea, he still became Godzilla. And then, they find out it's because a submarine during the time of the Cold War sunk in the Bering Sea, and they just kept it a secret because the Soviets didn't want to reveal that one of their submarines sunk. And that was...
So, sorry, interrupting real quick,
Yes.
just for a second. So this Godzilla is the Godzilla dinosaur.
Yes.
Like this, because like in the movie, it was a little ambiguous that like it never made it clear if this was the Godzilla dinosaur.
It's the same.
Okay, so it is the Godzilla dinosaur. Then,
Yes.
Later on in the movie, they seem very confused that he seems meaner than before.
Yes. And I think the meaner part came from the fact that, well, one, they tried to kill it via time travel. Two,
That would make me kind of grumpy.
But two, the other reason is so that submarine that they was bringing to try to revive Godzillasaurus at the time, when they encountered the actual Godzilla, he did eat that sub and got 20 meters bigger. So he went from, this is how he got the growth spurt. He went from 80 meters to 100 meters. So he did get bigger. So I kind of, in my own headcanon, I attribute his more meanness and ragefulness as he just got a huge dose of radiation. He just been juicing. And we know that when you take steroids, it make you all angry and rageful sometimes. So
That's fair.
I that's my headcanon of why he did that. Other than that, at this point, they are lucky enough. Hollywood logic prevail. They decide to let them fight. It's
Embarrassing.
pretty lopsided. And Godzilla is literally giving King Ghidorah the Bowser treatment from Super Mario, where he's grabbing him by the tail and flinging him around.
I was thinking the Loki and Hulk moment.
Not enough swinging, but we got pretty close. King Ghidorah tried to choke him out, and Godzilla responded by blowing his head off.
Yeah.
At this point, King Ghidorah did try to run away. Did not work that well for it. It was shot down into the Pacific Ocean, where it essentially died.
Yeah.
If you thought the future people got away, don't worry. They during this whole kaiju fight, there was a whole little human subplot with trying to get the future people. They get onto their ship. They manage to reprogram their ship to teleport to a new location before it because it have like a built-in kill switch to teleport it back to its original time of origin, kind of like the TARDIS.
Right.
So they reprogram it so that before it teleported back to its time of origin, it would teleport to another location, which was right in front of Godzilla. Yeah, that was the biggest FU of all time.
That was a giant FU. Like, that was a huge dick move.
And the worst part was they only had 1 minute to go before it teleported them back to their own time. So, and of course, I already talked about how King Ghidorah got shot down. It was not a good day for King Ghidorah. And at this point, people were like, yay! King Ghidorah's gone, we're saved, and then Godzilla's around and King Ghidorah is gone, and then they quickly remember, oh geez, Godzilla is here and King Ghidorah is gone.
Yeah, they kind of forgot that, oh wait, Godzilla's a giant kaiju too. Crap.
That we just
kill each other.
Juiced on steroid after trying to unmake him from existence.
Yeah, and pissed him off.
So he reasonably, stretches, count to 10, and quickly destroy half of Japan in this time frame. And they decide, well, giant monsters got into this, giant monsters get back out of this. So let's, they had one person from the future who was helping them, and that person from the future decided that they would go back to their own time, rebuild King Ghidorah to be a Mecha Cyborg into Mecha King Ghidorah, go back in time, and fight Godzilla again. So that's what they did. They brought...
Okay, I'm sorry, real
Yes.
quick, one more pause. I'm thinking back on the Godzilla movies I've seen. Now that I think about it, it seems Japan goes to, let's just grab another kaiju to fight Godzilla quite often.
Pretty much all the time.
Like, so, in fact, this isn't even new because at one point they will use a skeleton to create. They will use another Godzilla skeleton to create a monster to fight Godzilla, creating a new giant kaiju. How often do they do this?
I should also, this is kind of spoilers, but I'll go into it. They also use Mecha King Ghidorah as well to make that same kaiju you're thinking of to fight Godzilla.
Is that in the new Legendary?
No, that's in both the Legendary and in this one.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll have a
Sorry.
screenshot of it when we get to that part. When we get to that movie.
Gotcha. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. I mean, that's good. So at this point, Mecha King Ghidorah does just about as well as regular King Ghidorah, if not worse, because the fight lasts a little bit less. Because at least when he was King Ghidorah, he was more savage in terms of his attacks, because he was more like animalistic. Mecha King Ghidorah is kind of fighting it like a... You know, I'm not going to make any more sexist jokes, so I won't even say anything. Anyway.
So King Ghidorah tried to get Godzilla to sit down and talk about his feelings.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, I know. I decided to make the sexist joke, and the sad thing is it's true.
No, you're right. Because basically what happened is... So, Zed, if you remember the tasers, you can kind of see it's coming from his chest. You see the wiring coming from his chest to grab Godzilla, essentially. So, basically, they build in a capture device to capture Godzilla, and they drag him all the way out to sea in the hopes that he'll just chill out when they dump him in the ocean.
I just realized they replaced his tails with What? Why did they replace the end of his tails?
I guess...
I never noticed that.
You never noticed
that?
I guess they were hoping if he used his tail to hit something, it would be a little bit more painful.
Why did they design that like that? They look like they should shoot something, but they don't. Not that I remember.
I mean, they're a little bit more bladed when you get the toys of them.
Okay, great. That they didn't do anything in the whole movie.
No, they really
I didn't even realize they were there.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, her plan is to put him in timeout. Yeah, not... Okay. Wow, it really was piloted by a woman.
Yeah, and basically, I mean, once they kind of put him in timeout, he do kind of chill out. I mean, he at this point, he's already fought 2 kaijus and tore up half of Japan, so he kind of calls it a day. And they go, all's well that end wells, and, you know, pretty much call it a day.
Yeah, that's the next movie's problem.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, that's pretty much Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in a nutshell, which, you know, in a way is kind of a little bit more anti-climatic compared to a lot of the previous one, where, you know, in the first one, it took Godzilla and Rodan working together to beat King Ghidorah. No, it took Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra all working together to fight King Ghidorah. And then in the next movie, it took Godzilla and Rodan's working together to fight him. And then in another movie, it took Godzilla and every one of Toho's monsters to beat King Ghidorah. And then in another one, it took Godzilla and Geras working together to beat King Ghidorah. So, you know, it's kind of...
Yeah, that's the thing. King Ghidorah was a much bigger threat.
Yeah.
Like, in this movie, kind of, like, he almost gets the equivalent of monster bitch slap.
He really does. I guess some final notes about this. Well, first off, I'll start with something else. Zed, remember I was making all the Digimon analogies. So we're currently in the ultimate form. Because we got Mecha King Ghidorah. There is technically...
Yeah, so what...
There technically is 2 different mega forms for this, if you really want to think about this. There's the one we got from Godzilla Earth, where he's literally a Cthulhu-like being from another dimension. as his mega form. And then there's another one, the one I think of most of the time when I think of a mega form for King Ghidorah. You want to take a guess what his name is?
Mega Mecha Ghidorah?
Kind of.
Okay. Wow.
Heisei King Ghidorah.
All right.
Emperor King Ghidorah, if I'm not mistaken. That's what Kaizen mean, right? In German, is it? Or is it just leader?
Hold on.
I can't.
No, it's actually Kaizen. In Japanese business. Oh, it's a business philosophy of continuing working practices.
Of course, okay. Because it's like Kaiser, I should say Kaiser, like the German Kaiser. Yeah,
Not
sorry.
Kaizen. Okay, Kaiser. Yeah, no, that's German.
Because Kaiser
And,
mean
Emperor or ruler.
Okay,
Yeah.
so his name literally become Emperor King Ghidorah.
Gotcha. On a side note, it actually comes from a German word for the Roman title of Caesar.
And I should also add to it, he get 4 legs. Which,
What?
yeah, Kaiser King Ghidorah get 4 legs, and well, he has 4 legs.
Okay, what the hell is Kaiser King Ghidorah? Because clearly, I don't remember.
Godzilla Final Wars, if you remember that.
Oh, ew,
Yeah,
ew.
which Zed back me up. A lot of megas kind of got 4 legs, and they're like sometimes like a centaur, like strange Cthulhu monster half the time.
I'm realizing I didn't really pay that close attention to when I watched Final. I didn't pay that close attention when I watched Final Wars. Ew.
Some other little Easter eggs. This is the first Heisei movie to feature a monster from the Showa series that isn't Godzilla. So, King Ghidorah is the first one to make a return from the Showa. Other little Easter eggs. This is kind of the plot hole we kind of talk about, where they establish that the rule of time travel is two of the same people can't exist within the same timeline. Yet they travel back in time with a veteran who was at that location when Godzilla was a dinosaur. So they had 2 people in the same timeline, but they could make the argument he was in the time ship, so it didn't count. Well, at the same time, they did bring Mecha King Ghidorah back into the time where his dead corpse was in the sea. So there was like a lot of time plot holes in this movie.
That sounds about right.
Most people are saying that, it was supposed to be like a branching timeline, because otherwise it doesn't make much sense, but
Yeah, because that makes so much more sense.
yeah. Another little Easter egg, there is a novelization of this movie, and the novelization plus earlier scripts explain how the Dorats, while they were engineered using DNA from a corpse of a super, I'm going to use their exact wording, space super monster King Ghidorah that they found on Venus.
Okay.
Which I think would have been a little bit better, because then King Ghidorah is still an alien.
Yeah, it would have made as much sense as anything else.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I didn't know, and this is something new that I learned in this one. King Ghidorah is the only monster in a Godzilla series to attack Hiroshima on film. It was in a single shot, but King Ghidorah attacks Hiroshima. You can see
that's when he flew over.
Yeah, you can see the Genbaku Dome, which was the only building in the hypercenter of the 1945 atomic bomb to blast to survive. And it appears in the foreground of a shot.
Huh.
I didn't know King Ghidorah was the only Toho monster to ever attack Hiroshima. I didn't think they had any monster actually attack it.
I mean, kudos.
And of course, I've already said this is the first movie where Godzilla fight, King Ghidorah by himself without any help. Because if we hopped on, this is kind of King Ghidorah's getting his ass kicked movie.
Yeah, kind of.
There was another reason though I wanted to do the King Ghidorah movie, because recently they just released a new poster for Godzilla Minus Zero, the sequel to Godzilla Minus One. This is their new poster. Notice anything kind of interesting about it?
Well, I'm noticing the bright sunlight coming through the blue, which kind of symbolizes yellow, but the G's looking interesting.
Well, the G people have been harping that the G part of it looked like a woman praying, while the other part looked like Godzilla's tail, which they think have to do with the the woman who got the radiation dose, who survived the Godzilla attack, the main heroine from the last.
Yeah, I remember. I thought this was supposed to be like 50 years in the future or something.
No, we don't know when this is supposed to take place. I think this is supposed to take place because the original Godzilla Minus One took place 1948, I believe, or 49. It was literally right after World War II.
World War, yeah.
Whereas the first Godzilla movie take place in 1954. That's when I think this take place, is 1950 to 1954. Okay. I know it's not supposed to take place like present day types of thing.
Okay, so I guess she's like, then she'd be in her, 40s or 50s, assuming she's
because it's reusing a lot of the same characters, if memory serves correctly.
Okay, assuming she didn't get like horribly mutated or something.
Well, that may be applied in the movie for all we know. But
yeah,
one of the things that had people speculate is the yellow clouds.
Yeah, that's what I was drawn to.
King Ghidorah. Everyone thinks, and not to mention King Ghidorah's original name is Monster Zero. Godzilla Minus Zero, Monster Zero. You put a poster up with yellow clouds with a little blue light coming through the cloud in the lower corner, while there's a bright shining light coming from the sky. Everyone's thinking that this pretty much means it's going to be Godzilla versus King Ghidorah in the Godzilla Minus Zero movie.
Just say if it is. Very nice, subtle advertising.
I know, right?
Yeah, no props.
Other than that, I did have one more, and this is just another picture of it without the logo, which you can kind of easily see Godzilla's image in the clouds at that point.
Yeah.
And people are arguing that you can see illusions of King Ghidorah's heads in some of the clouds.
Yeah, maybe, but that is.
It's a stretch. It's a huge stretch.
Yeah. I will say one thing on a side note. This movie's origin of Godzilla, with him being the dinosaur,
yes,
is my favorite origin of Godzilla.
Oh, where he's just a dinosaur?
That got mutated? Yeah, I don't know why. I really like this origin story.
That was always his origin story. Even the original Showa era.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought in the original Showa era, he just happened to be a dinosaur that came out of nowhere. Like, he was always looked like that. He wasn't like originally almost a Tyrannosaurus-like creature.
No, he so in the original because you remember in Godzilla minus one, he was a dinosaur on Goa Islands, I believe.
Yes.
That was the same from 1954. If you recall, they used to say that they used to pray and they used to hope. They used to pray
I thought, he was always a giant monster thing.
He was a giant monster, but I mean, to people on the island, a dinosaur would be a giant monster.
Yeah, no, but like I thought, I didn't think that that he was always Godzilla. Like the radiation didn't turn him from T-Rex to Godzilla.
No, that was pretty much always supposed to be Godzilla was always supposed to be some type of dinosaur-like creature who was mutated by the atomic testing on Bikini Island, which led to his eventual growth into the Godzilla that we know. Now, granted, in the original 1954, they didn't I don't think they directly attribute it to Bikini Island, but they just said the atomic testing in the area. But I mean, Bikini Island was kind of the biggest atomic testing during the period right before 1954.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I think Bikini Island testing was 1951 or 52 or something like that.
Well, then let me say I like this origin a lot better than the 1999 Zilla.
Yeah, Zilla was the first one where they made it so that he wasn't a dinosaur, he was an iguana.
Ugh.
Which is why Toho bought the rights so they could change the canon to make it a different species than Godzilla.
Yeah, and final thing I'll say is there is actually a Lagos Island apparently, but it's actually in Africa.
Ah, well, there we go. So
Nigeria, to be exact.
Okay, so I was right to not think it's in Japan at least.
No, it's not in Japan, but apparently it also goes by a different name. So it also is known. No, never mind. That's just the Mariana. Okay, so no, it's called the Lagos Islands. Assuming I'm spelling it correctly.
But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it for King Ghidorah's role in the Heisei series. The only other time he's going to show up is he's going to be referenced when they're using him to make a kaiju for another one, the Godzilla movies in Heisei. But yeah, other than that, I mean, unless you guys got something else you want to ask about Mecha King Ghidorah.
No, I'm good.
Or regular King Ghidorah in the Heisei era. Nope.
No, I think that's good for me.
Yeah, I mean, he again. I try to be the hype man for the monsters of these episodes, but this version of King Ghidorah is much weaker than previous incarnations.
Yeah, no, he took an ass whooping.
Pretty much. I mean, I feel kind of bad.
Yeah, like Godzilla, like it wasn't even a challenge.
No, it was a beatdown, pretty much. Well, in that case, King Ghidorah, just get on out here. Maybe next time. Go away. Too bad. You suck too much in this one.
Nice effects.
Oh, thank you. Next time. I'll get want to take any guess?
It's okay. So, well, we're in the versus.
It's a 2-for-1 deal now.
Is one of them Mothra?
Yes, it is.
If it's ever a 2-for-1 deal, always guess Mothra first. You've got a good chance of it.
Bonus if you guess the next one.
Okay.
I'll even give you a hint.
Is that weird wasp thing?
That can describe a lot of Godzilla monsters.
Oh crap! What? The really freaky looking one that split into a whole bunch of them.
No, that's a different one.
Okay, different one.
That's Megaguirus. I may be butchering the name.
Okay, so not that one. Not the one where he survives that meteor taking him on.
No. That's further in the line. That's in a different time period of Godzilla movies.
Crap, who is this thing?
Give you a hint. It starts with B. And it's the evil version of Mothra.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought the Megaguirus was the evil version of Mothra. So
in this case, this is Batra.
Batra.
Batra. Battra. Yep. So next time we'll be doing Godzilla versus Mothra, I believe 1992. And Batra will be one of the main components of that movie.
Oh, okay. No, this was the creature I was thinking of. All right. Well, then what's the other one?
Megaguirus is like a bunch of dragonfly-like creatures that existed during the Cretaceous period.
Oh, okay. No. All right. I'm mixing the two movies. That's why.
I mean, it's similar. They all got bugs, but this one
Yeah,
got two giant moths.
Yeah, no, it was the creature I was thinking of. Okay, just I got the name wrong. Okay, my bad. Batra. Okay, I thought he was the other one. Okay, in my defense, they're both giant bugs.
No, they are both giant bugs. And it's hard to remember because most people don't remember Batra because it was only in one movie.
Yep, and in my defense, I've never watched these movies in order.
But we'll get to that in the next one.
Sounds good.
So see you guys next time.
Later.